Hi, in this video we're going to have a look at the availability testing in App Insights and how it can help you with your integration platform. So, I seem to have gone the wrong way there. So the question we have when it comes to the testing is, how do I know if all of the key apps and services in my architecture are available? Now, what we can do is we can create some diagnostic services in APIM. Now, App Insights has this concept of availability tests where I can do a number of things, with the simplest one being a ping test. So App Insights will regularly just ping an endpoint, check it's available, and then give you a success failure kind of result. What we can do though is, if we have App Insights ping in APIM, we can actually then forward those messages on to different services and check they're available. So commonly in my functions, you might build a little hello world type function that just returns a response so you know it's alive. So that would be one test. We can check our functions are around. We can execute a consumption logic app just to help one maybe and know logic app consumptions should be working. We can also have APIM ping service bus via a logic app, or I guess you could even do it inside the APIM policy if you wanted. Send a message to service bus. And we can also call things like Dataverse via the Dataverse connector and just do a who am I, or via an API, something like that. And also you could integrate through a logic app into your custom application. So you might use a call that checks SAPs available, and you've got a few options here. Okay, so if we have a look what we've got, so in let me go open up this here. So one of the things that I've done in my logic app standard, you can see I've got these health ones here. So I've got a workflow that will just simply ping Cosmos, for example, and just tell me if Cosmos is available or not. So I'm going to just do a simple query of some items, check that I can pull some rail cars back. That's all good. So we give a successful response. You can see, likewise, I've got Dataverse where it'll ping Dataverse. And so we just open this up. So here I'm just doing a list rows against an entity and just returning the first row. And that tells me that I can call Dataverse and everything's working okay. And I just repeat the same approach. I've got ones for just logic apps, ones for service bus, for example. And in App Insights, you can use this availability feature here. So I can add a test up at the top. So you can give it a name, give it a URL. Do you want to parse dependent requests? Deal with any SSL things. Now, how often do you want to run your test? So you may just run it every 5 minutes, but you may choose multiple locations. So I might ping it from 5 locations, something like that. And it's as simple as that. So once I've got my test added, it'll be enabled. I can disable it, edit it, etc. And here, what I'll be able to do is see. So if we look at our APIM ping test, and you can see the result at the top here shows we've got 100% SLA at the minute. You can see the individual requests here. Each time it pings it, and they would show up red if there was any problems. And then you can go into the individual. So here I've only got one data center pinging it. There you might have two, and you can see the requests for each data center. And it's pretty much as easy as that. What you just need the endpoint configured to be able to ping what you want to call. So in APIM, for example, over here, so I've created my health API, and you can see I've got a bunch of different operations, so SAP, Logic Apps, Cosmos, and all I'm doing is I'm just pinging them. They'll forward a call to a Logic App or a function or whatever. So you can see it'll flag up here in the policy. I think I've probably set the Logic App URL, and it's just going to keep pinging them and returning the data here. So when when I have a failure, I can have App Insights can trigger, if there's so many failures over a period of time, I can have it trigger an alert to tell me that there's something I need to go and have a look at. Likewise, you can do this SLA type report here, so I think I'll have to have a look into that. You can also go and have a look in the logs. So here, if I open the log up, you'll see this will be querying the availability results table, and that will give me the same view that I'm seeing on the dashboard there. So you can see that's querying my APIM for North Europe, but I could really just, let's chop them out for a minute. You can see the individual availability result tests here, how long they took, and you can go and troubleshoot into these if you've got any problems. So you can do some quite advanced stuff here. You can use this data to build your own dashboards. When I mentioned that management SLA dashboard earlier, we were just driving it off this data within this table in App Insights. Okay, so we'll just quickly wrap this one out. So in summary, for the series of videos we've done here, I just wanted to break that bigger presentation up into a number of bite-sized videos for people. Hopefully you've made it through all of them. There's lots of ways that I can use Log Analytics and App Insights. Hopefully we've given a load of ideas over the couple of videos. There are some limitations in the end-to-end tracing, so particularly if you remember that bit I was saying about how that diagnostic ID doesn't really get handled by the consumption logic app properly. Big call out about the amount of data you log. So I've discussed this a couple of times about the amount of log data can end up in App Insights and Log Analytics. There's a cost for storage of that data, so just be a bit careful about one, the volume you're logging, and number two, the retention policy. So by default, you're probably on 90 days. So you want to be careful about having it too long. So what you might do, for example, is have two different Log Analytics workspaces. One for you're going to get a lot of telemetry that can be short-lived, and you might have another one for longer telemetry, especially if you're doing something like that simplified approach, writing your own custom messages. You might choose to keep that for a much longer period. So there's lots of troubleshooting, performance analysis you can do with all this data. Remember that under load, App Insights will start sampling. You've got a bunch of tuning options based on how you want to configure that, but you can lose data in App Insights. It's not guaranteed delivery, so just bear that in mind when you're building solutions with this. Finally, to shout out about a few articles. So there's a bunch of stuff I've written previously going into deep dives around Log Analytics, custom log and App Insights. You've got stuff around tuning functions for App Insights. You can tune the amount of logging. But otherwise, I hope everybody's enjoyed these few short videos. Thank you for spending time listening. And I think, isn't the YouTube thing is like and subscribe? Hopefully I'll get a few subscribers on my channel. Cheers.